What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis, including your money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. Also, in this video, we're going to cover the Social Security payment schedule for July so that you know everything. We did this for June as well. I'll show you here on the screen the document directly from the Social Security Administration. Also, we will be talking about here in this video the new legislative bill to increase Social Security by $2,400 per year for everybody underneath the Social Security umbrella. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, VA, RRB, survivors, everybody underneath Social Security. You can also see it here from Senator Bernie Sanders' Senate.gov Senate page. $2,400 a year to expand Social Security. So stay tuned for that. This is definitely a video that you will want to watch all the way to the end. Also, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. It just makes it so you won't miss out on our new videos. We cover everything going on here in our country that you need to know about, including the next stimulus package and stimulus checks. Right now, President Biden is proposing pausing the federal gas tax and a new gas rebate card or a new stimulus check on the federal level. And we have over 10 different states that have passed state stimulus checks or tax rebate checks, really whatever you want to call them. But there's a lot of states that are passing stimulus checks here as well, from the money that the last stimulus package gave to states, and because right now the unemployment level is really low. It's at 3.6%. The 50-year low is at 3.5%. So you can see here we're just about at a 50-year low. And because of that, all these states, pretty much every state in the US and the federal government is actually taking in way more money than normal, way more tax income and sales tax. And the Congressional Budget Office from the US government actually says that the federal government is going to be able to pay down the national deficit here between 1.5 and 1.7 trillion dollars here over the next 12 months. So they have a lot of money right now. Same with the states. Each state, it depends on the state here, but like California has a budget surplus of around $97 billion. That's crazy. Remember, California sent out a stimulus check last year for California residents. There was some criteria there. You had to make under $75,000, and some things like that. But like 27 million residents from California got a state stimulus check there, and it was $600. And if you had a child, it was $1,100. So some of these states stimulus checks can be really large. There's over 10 that have already passed stimulus checks here this year. And I'll link you to some of my recent videos that I did here on those here at the end of this video. And some more details on the $2,400 Social Security raise here. But I'll talk about that here in a minute. But check this out. Here is the Social Security payment schedule for July. Okay, so here is the payment schedule for July. I just have like kind of two windows up here. It's actually the same window or the same document. I just kind of put this up here so you could see the footnotes here this is directly from the Social Security Administration themselves. Okay, so this is the payment schedule for July of 2022. Okay, and here's kind of the footnotes here as well. Okay, so you can see here on July 1st will be the payment for SSI, Supplemental Security Income. Okay, that will be on July 1st on Friday. Okay, Then you can see here that the next payment dates are July 13th, 20th, and 27th. You can also see here that July 1st is also highlighted in this box, which says if you received Social Security before May 1997, or if receiving both Social Security and SSI, Social Security is paid on the 3rd and SSI on the 1st. These three dates here, the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th, it says benefit paid on the second Wednesday, which is the 13th, if your birth date falls between the 1st and the 10th. The third Wednesday, which is July 20th, if your birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th. And the uh, fourth Wednesday, which is July 27th, if your birthday falls between the 21st and the 31st. I'll also scroll this over here in case I'm in the corner there. It says if you don't receive your payment on the expected date, please allow 3 additional mailing days before contacting Social Security. Okay, so you could kind of see all that here. This is the direct calendar directly from Social Security Administration. Okay, and you can see all those days on here and the exact dates on here. So if you have any questions, leave a comment down in the comment section. Our community here on YouTube is absolutely wonderful. And I'm sure that our community here will answer some of your questions here. We get a lot of questions. We get thousands of views per video and a lot of questions. But I'm sure that you could join our community here. Just watch it. It doesn't cost anything or anything like that. And you'll see that our viewers here are absolutely amazing. It's a very warm community here. But feel free to ask any questions that you have down below in the comments, and I'm sure you'll see your answers or a lot of common questions there answered. Feel free to join our community. It's really, really awesome. Just you literally could just join our community just by watching or clicking the subscribe button down below with what I said here. It's free. But I hope this makes sense here for you here. And if you're grandfathered in, if you've been on Social Security for a while, note these footnotes here. But these payment dates do change based on each month here and the days of the month and days of the week and something like that here. So I'll have upcoming videos here for you every month here, and I'll have SNAP videos and food stamp videos coming up here as well. With the each state is doing additional food snap videos, food stamp video, or food snap supplemental benefits as well for millions of Americans. And there's a new conference coming up here in a few months where President Biden says that they want to basically redo. I'll show you here. Yeah, you can see here, SNAP not enough. Why the White House is holding a rare food insecurity conference this fall in September. And the last time they held this conference was when they created the food stamp program, also known as SNAP now. And this is really good news because I think that they're going to expand the program. And you can see here, SNAP is not enough. So they might increase benefits for millions and millions of Americans. They also might make benefits more or make more people eligible for benefits as well. They also might make, there's a lot of people that qualify for these benefits, but they get a small amount, like maybe $20 or $30 a month. I think there's a possibility that those could be upped here as well. So some people get them and they get a good amount. Some people get it and they get a small amount. So there's a possibility that a lot of these things could change, and there's also a possibility that a lot more people could become eligible. Right now, there's about 40 million some people that are eligible for the food SNAP program or food stamp program. That's kind of the same thing. Also, the WIC programs as well, women, infant, children as well. So, remember, there's about 64 to 66% of Americans right now that live paycheck to paycheck or actually behind on their bills. So, um, they're trying to do a lot of things here, and they can actually do that, I believe, without Congress. So they actually previously raised. I'll show you here. This was back in August of 2021. So this past August, families who receive food stamps will see the largest benefits increase in history. This was about a 25% raise, and this was very significant because there was a temporary raise that was going on here from the pandemic that was ending right around then. And as that was ending, the president just kind of took his authority and did this permanent increase. So this new 25% raise was a permanent increase, which kind of made up for that temporary increase that was ending. The temporary increase was done by Congress, but the new increase, which they said here was the largest benefit increase in history, is a permanent increase. And note, the president just did that without Congress. He didn't need to get Democrats and Republicans to agree or anything. He just literally did it through their authority with the USDA. So that's really good because with this new food assistance conference, they could probably do the same thing. So I'll keep you up to date here on that as well. And then here's this. You can see here, this is a brand new bill that was just introduced here several days ago. Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and other Democrats want to pay retirees an additional $2,400 per year in their Social Security checks by raising taxes on the richest Americans. You can also see it directly here on Senator Bernie Sanders' Senate.gov page. Now, note that there's actually about 200 congressmen and congresswomen that are for this between the Senate and the House. So it's not just Senator Bernie Sanders and Senator Elizabeth Warren. They're just two of the main co-sponsors here. There's a lot of support for this. There's a lot of support for this. So this has a very real chance. And the Social Security Administration actually said that this will strengthen. Let me see if I have it here. Yeah. This will extend the solvency for Social Security for 75 years. For 75 years. Yeah, because they're going to raise taxes on the richest Americans while they basically pay into Social Security and don't really get a benefit for it. And that's how they're going to pay for the additional benefits for everybody else. And this would actually increase the solvency for 75 years. And the Social Security Administration actually did the math on this and said, yeah, it checks out. The math or the projections check out. Social Security Administration said this. And remember, the Social Security Administration, even though the Democrats are the ones proposing this, the Social Security Administration is not Democratic or Republican. I mean, they've been around for, since since the beginning of, this was created, which actually goes back to the Great Depression. So the Social Security program, if you didn't know this, was created right after the Great Depression. Same thing with the unemployment program. So a lot of times when we come out of really bad recessions and in this case pandemics and recessions, a lot of programs are redone, revamped, or even created. So when we go back to the Great Depression, the Social Security program and the unemployment program were created. And think about why that was because, well, millions of people lost their jobs. Does that sound familiar from this recession and this pandemic? Millions of businesses went out of business, and millions of people were starving. And the problem is, when people lost their jobs, they had nothing. They literally lost their jobs, and the very next day, they couldn't afford food. They couldn't pay their rent. There was nothing. There was no unemployment program. The government wasn't there to help them out. There were no stimulus checks. There was no unemployment bonuses. There was no unemployment pay. Um, there was no food stamps. There was no food assistance. And that's when soup lines. You think about that. That was actually when they first kind of started that stuff. That was actually the first type of food assistance in the U.S. And the government had to do that because literally people were starving, literally. And the government was like, "Oh my gosh, we have to actually support our people." Yeah, there was no stimulus checks. There was no paycheck protection program. There was no bailing out banks because back then banks just literally collapsed. There was runs on the banks, and think about the Great Depression. We still think about it today as the worst collapse in our financial history. And now they actually have like a whole bunch of fail safes in there. And when the pandemic hit, think about our country literally shut down to some degree here. Our economy shut down to some degree, not what they had in China like recently here. That was kind of crazy. Um, but I mean, they literally had people locked in their homes and stuff, and they weren't allowed to leave. Yeah. But you kind of think about if we did nothing like we did back in the Great Depression, and you really kind of think we did this to two different presidents, a Republican president and a Democratic president. So it's not just like, oh, it's all the Democrats, it's all the Republicans. Two different presidents did this. This really prevented our economy from really, really, really crashing like it did back in the Great Depression. So, and really, we still had millions of businesses go out of business, especially those like in the restaurant industry and the travel sector and stuff like that. Think about how bad it could have been. Think about how many people already lost their jobs and stuff like that. But the government has learned throughout this last, almost 100 years or so, that programs like unemployment and Social Security, and now really stimulus packages, those are here to stay because they actually serve a purpose and they prevent our economy from going under. Imagine if Social Security didn't exist today. I mean, it's something like 50 some percent of seniors go into retirement and don't have any retirement savings. And Social Security is all they have. Imagine if Social Security didn't exist. It was only one lifetime ago that it didn't. Now we have a lot of senators saying that, and a House of representatives saying that it really needs to be strengthened. It needs to be a little bit more because we're the richest country in the history of the earth, which we actually are if you do the math. We need to support the people a little bit more. We need to have some more raises in there. One of the other provisions in this bill is to raise Social Security benefits. The minimum payout for Social Security beneficiaries would be $1,415 per month. And the way they come up with that number is that's 125% of the federal poverty level. Yeah, so that's another provision here in this bill, along with the $2,400 raise, is because there's just, I mean, you think about inflation. I mean, $1,400 a month. I mean, a lot of places you can't even rent an apartment for that price. You know, so they kind of want to make that an even playing field where that would be the minimum Social Security benefit. You can let me know your thoughts on this. I'll link you to a video here where you can hear Senator Bernie Sanders talking about this new bill, talking about this new proposal that was just introduced, and how they want to get enough votes to pass this. And I'll also link you to another video here about state stimulus checks here that are being passed here. We have over 10 different states that have already passed state stimulus checks, and there's going to be more to come here. So, as I said, make sure to click the subscribe button down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so. This way, you won't miss out on new videos. New videos come out here on our YouTube channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After you click the subscribe button, then click the bell icon that appears next to the subscribe button so you get notifications as soon as we go live here with new videos. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country. You can click here to see my video with Senator Bernie Sanders and the $2,400 Social Security raise, more details on that. Or you can click here to see my video on more stimulus checks and state stimulus checks and details on that. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.